Well, now, if it ain't Lige, will it? Come in, Lige. How be you?
Oh, about as usual. Ain't seen much of you since you was elected sheriff. Why you been keeping yourself?
Well, this being sheriff's got me in a peck of trouble. Didn't you hear about it, Lige?
Not a word.
Why, you see, there was a show troupe come to Punkin Center.
I want to know.
Yes, some of it's here yet. There's a big fiddle out there in the hen house. No one can play on it. Ezra Hoskins tuned it up, but he couldn't hold it under his chin. Well, didn't no one go to show? They didn't do very well, 'cause there was a revival meeting going on at the Baptist church, so they didn't have money enough to pay their tavern bill. While, as they calculated, they'd do right well over to Hoskins Falls. Me being sheriff, I went along to collect the bill.
Did you get it, Joyce?
Get it? Wait till I tell you. There was Dave Martin, landlord at Andover, Steve Taylor, landlord at Spring Valley, Hank Williams, landlord at Sugar Creek. They was all along trying to collect. We got over to Hoskins Falls, and 4 of the actors quit. So Dave Martin, Steve Taylor, Hank Williams, and me had to be actors, or they couldn't show. And they got out bills saying on them, tonight at the Opera Hall, special attraction, sheriff and landlord's quartet, and they played Uncle Tom's Cabin. Steve Taylor was a fella called March. Dave was a fella Phineas somebody. Hank Williams was Simon Legree, a villain, and I had to black myself and be Uncle Tom, and the opera house was chock full of folks to see us make darn fools out of ourselves. I ain't got the welts off of me yet, while Hank Williams licked me with that whip. Soon as I got my hands untied, I took a fall out of Hank right there on the opera platform. Then I had to sing a song, though I didn't feel much like singing. Lige, you play the melodeon, don't you?
Of course I can.
Now, here's a song. You play it, and I'll sing it for you.
Well, I'll do the best I can.
Now, in that place called heaven, what the good book tells about, there ain't no kind of work to do but just to sing and shout, and all the white-robed angels flying through the air, they surely must have chicken if there's any coons up there. If there's chicken up in heaven, I'll be there, and every donkey there will have his share. When old Gabriel blows his dinner horn early on that judgment morn, if there's chicken up in heaven, I'll be there. Well, the mule what Steve Taylor was riding throwed him off and kicked him into the higher river, and Liza couldn't get across 'cause Steve blocked up the river, and Dave Martin fell off a painted mountain and knocked down all the rest of the mountains, and one of the bloodhounds got Hank Williams by the leg. And in the last part, where little Eva goes to heaven, I got tangled up in the ropes and went with her, by heck. Well, that ended the show. We all went out to collect our money, and we found out Hoskins Falls was on the state line, and Opera Hall was in another state, so we couldn't get a cent, but I got that big fiddle. Anything you want to see me about, Lige?
Well, Josh, there was a show in our town, and they left on me. And I thought...
Well, you'll have to think again, Lige. No more show proof for your uncle. Why, Lige, they're calling me Uncle Tom yet.